All right, here we have the care instructions for the string of pearls. This is actually a string of tears here, but string of pearls, string of tears, string of hooks, string of bananas, they all have the same sort of a care. So let's get into it. These plants are going to need as bright light as possible, okay? So right up in a window that it has a very wide view of the sky. They can also be kept outdoors during the spring and the summer months. As long as it's above 60 degrees, they'll be perfectly fine, as long as they're not in afternoon sun. They can burn, so make sure it's just that soft morning light or soft evening light, or dappled or in the shade is fantastic as well. Anyway, they need really, really bright light. Now, if you're gonna hang these plants, most people like to hang these plants because they have these nice, long, beautiful trails here. The main goal that you want to do when hanging is to make sure the top of the pot, so right here, has a very wide view of the sky, okay? Too many people hang them up here, if your view is the window right here, and only these few leaves are seeing any sky. It's not gonna work like that, right? You need to hang it down lower so that the top of the pot, if you were to put your eyeballs right here, it can see a wide view of the sky above it, okay? So that's how you're gonna be successful with string of pearls. Next, we'll move on to watering, because it is also very important, and it's something that I see people often get wrong. These plants are succulents, right? They have water storing systems, so all of these little leaves are filled with water. So they're very drought tolerant, okay? So we want to make sure when we're taking care of these plants to let them dry out 100% in between watering, okay? So if you stick a chopstick down to the bottom of the soil, or to the bottom of the pot, and you take it out and it's dry, that means it's time to water. The pot will also feel extremely light. That is how you know that it's time to water your plant. If you're ever wondering, if you're ever not 100% sure, it's best to wait a little bit longer, because like I said, they're drought tolerant, but if they are watered too frequently, they will die very, very quickly, okay? So if you're ever not totally sure, just wait a little bit longer. Wait a few more days, check the soil again, make sure it's 100% dry in between waterings. But when we do water them, we want to give them a complete soak. We don't want any of the roots to be missed. So it's very infrequent watering, but when we do water them, we want them to be 100% saturation. You can bottom water. That is the absolute 100% guaranteed way to saturate all of the roots when you're doing this. You can also water them from the top. Oftentimes people say you can't water them from the top. You totally can. I've been doing it for years, perfectly successful to do it like that. As long as you have your pot hung low enough to where the top of the plant can see the wide open sky, this is going to dry out much faster, and you're not gonna risk any rotting of the plant. So, light and water. If you want to fertilize this plant, do it in the spring and the summer months when the plant is actively growing, and you can use just a special formulated fertilizer for succulents. You can find that at your big box stores or online on Amazon, wherever you want to find it. And it'll respond pretty good for that kind of a thing. If you want to propagate them, it's just regular stem cuttings. I usually like to wrap them around in soil, just kind of curl them up in soil and let them root in there. That's kind of how they grow in nature. They're sort of a crawling plant along the bed, or the ground cover. They're a ground cover kind of a plant, right? So they're going to creep and crawl all along. If you want to repot this plant, make sure you're only repotting it when the roots are coming out of this bottom of the plant, and make sure that you're using 100% cactus soil, succulent soil, whatever it is. It needs to be draining very, very, very sharply. If you want to make your own cactus soil, I just use like 1 part. I use 1 part just regular container mix, like a regular houseplant soil, mixed in with 3 parts extremely sharp draining material. So like 3 parts sand or perlite or pumice stone, or pebbles that are clean, like fish tank pebbles. Something that's gonna drain very, very sharply. They need very sharp drainage, okay? So that's gonna do it for the care instructions for the string of pearls, string of tears, string of hooks, string of bananas, whatever you want. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Of course, you can always message me on Instagram or Facebook at Tanner the Planner.